Pull out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, The Grease Trap. Pull out your dicks, get ready to fap. It's time for your favorite show, Grease Trap.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the greasiest of Grease Traps. How you doing out there in the fucking universe? Boom. We were talking about NFTs before the show came live. I was telling these guys that Dan Harmon, co-creator of Rick and Morty and that show Community, I think. I don't really watch that one, whatever.
I think it was a writer on Community, right?
I think he created it.
Oh, he created it as well?
Yeah, creator. I think.
Has it been canceled yet?
Yeah, they tried a couple times.
Oh, okay, they tried to cut. Yeah.
But you know, he's nothing really stuck. But anyway, he's doing a new show for Fox, which is of course Disney at this point. That's going to be all on the blockchain. It's going to be all NFT supported show or whatever. It's going to be like the first show on the blockchain.
So I learned about NFTs a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm really kind of like knowledge negative on blockchain and the shit that's behind it. So Scotty might be able to fill us in a little on that. But what I'll tell you about NFTs is
it's like an encrypted ledger that, you know,
right. It stands for
decentralized
non-fungible token. Non-fungible token. Non-fungible meaning non-changeable. Right?
Yes.
It's something that you can verify ownership of immediately, and there's no way to fake ownership of.
Yeah, and well, basically, it's like how like every Bitcoin is worth the same as every other Bitcoin, but a non-fungible token is like, hey, this can vary in price.
Right.
Not all of these are worth the same.
Well, because
amount.
it's tied instead of being tied to a currency like Bitcoin is, it's tied to an actual digital product of some kind or another. That's how I understand NFTs.
Yeah.
Well, the market sets the price too, but in the sense of like, let's say you want to go buy a painting, Paul. Like, then if someone's saying, "Well, this is a well-known California artist. This painting goes for $25,000." Either that's the market and people will pay that, or they won't. But if you do own that, just like you have that painting in your house, and we can verify that by going to Paul's house and looking and saying, yes, Paul has this painting.
Right.
On the blockchain, it'd be the same way. It's like there's a unique descriptor that basically lets you know this is Paul's. Paul bought this $25,000 NFT fucking token, essentially.
Sure.
Our digital asset.
And there's no way to fake it. People can obviously
there's so many checks. It's very hard
to use it, but every time that they do that, if somebody looks at that picture, they will be able to trace back who owns the NFT for this piece of digital art.
Yeah, you can look on the blockchain
even
yourself.
Physical art, if you wanted to sell a physical painting via NFT. See, that's the thing that interests me about NFT is that it's functional as a currency separate from the market, the capitalist economy. Basically, it's a sub-capitalistic. Like Bitcoin wants to be part of the economy. Like it's all based on how many dollars is a Bitcoin worth. NFTs are the other way around. It's how many dollars is the piece of artwork worth. And it's allotting for the fact that a lot of artists now aren't working in oil on canvas. They're working in the digital realm, and beautiful pieces of fucking undeniable art are being created. And there needs to be a way to establish ownership and patronage of these artists. This has been a problem for a long time. Artists getting taken for a ride and having their art, they put it out there with their name on it. And then tons of other people benefit and take it and use it in their pot. We're guilty of this shit. How many times in our show have we said, "Oh yeah, this is a cool picture. This is exactly what we want to show." And it's just some fucking struggling artist that paints it that gets nothing for what we just did. You know what I mean? This is a way for that artist to have already capitalized on that. So it doesn't matter when dorks like us come around and go like, "Oh, look at this cool fucking digital art." You know, because somebody already paid the digital artist for the ownership of that art. And the value of that art increases the more people like us use it.
One of the things that's interesting to me is that people can be so tethered to like the present and not see sort of like a bigger picture in terms of like how things are going to unfold over time.
Well, and obviously, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm in the midst of rewatching Deadwood, which is a fantastic HBO series, which is all about what TJ's talking about. It's about a number of people who saw the potential in an area that was fraught with fucking like naysayers and danger and economic exposure because they believed in the end in the potential of like, look, America is moving west. It's annexing Indian land. If we set up a fucking town and gold claims and we work those gold claims in the hills, we're fucking rich people when this becomes America. But we're riding our entire ass on the line here, or we're at least putting skin in the game.
Yeah.
Because if it goes, if the wind blows the other way and they annex us and they go fuck your whole title and claim and they give it to a bunch of cronies.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you. This town is bullshit. Whatever.
So, but that's the type of thinking that you're talking about. Is what I'm trying to. Is why I interjected there, TJ.
And I mean, like the NFT stuff. I mean, like you just don't know. Like, look, if this is already being backed by corporate America runs fucking the government. Everyone knows this. So corporate America is obviously, if they're taking an interest in this technology, it's because they have something. Oh, this could be a way for us to show ownership of what we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a way for us to, we could put this out there on the internet, but still this is property of fucking Fox or Disney.
Well,
whatever
essentially, yeah. I mean, because that's been like the chicken and the egg sort of problem for them, hasn't it been?
So,
like, 'cause they want to fucking put that content out there, but if they put it out there, then they can't control it.
The thing that people should take away from that, if you're anybody who's like looking to invest in this kind of shit in any way, shape, or form, is that like, you know, this technology has real fucking potential.
Here's the thing. It's like, not to go
recognized by the government.
If you're looking to invest in it, then you have to look at the people like who not the early people that really understand the technology and can utilize it in a practical manner for businesses. Because like there really has to be something ultimately that it can be used for. Because like there's interesting applications. But what if those applications could be profitable? And honestly, that's because that's how these things are based on. And someone's going to figure that out.
This may be the new way that artists sell art. This may be the new. If this show goes on another 5-6 years, 4 years from now, this instead of a Patreon, we may sell NFTs, or there may be an NFT system where people go into like a co-op ownership of our content after the fact.
But Patreon did that. I mean, they didn't invent the membership thing, but they made it super accessible to people. And that's what I'm talking about with these NFTs. When you have the company that can make it super accessible, that's going to be an investable business model.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about.
I'm dabbling in music and shit right now with another indie artist and dude that did our fucking intro, Marshal Manson. I'm doing like rap stuff, and it's like this is going to have wide implications for.
Disregard sends his regards, Paul.
Oh, does he? All right.
Disregard.
I got you, TJ. I can't
prepare yourself.
I can't wait to hear from Bo Well, not me, because I don't give a fuck about Beauregard one way or the other.
Right, you don't give a shit. Fuck. But if Beauregard, there might be a challenger for that Beauregard throne at some point.
Yeah, I wonder who it could be.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Bo Disregard.
I mean,
I don't know.
We'll
keep our eye on
Disregard. Like in my mind, I think the thing that Bo disregards is an actual love for hip hop.
Yeah.
I'll have to agree with you on that.
You're going to see.
So that is either a strength or a weakness. I guess we'll see.
It's going to be awesome.
When he, she, or they drop, I don't know anything about Bo Disregard, so I don't want to misgender.
Yeah.
No, but the whole point is indie music artists, this is huge, right? Because you can create not whole songs maybe, but I wanted to talk to Marshall about this. What if we sat down, did a live stream together and made a song over the course of that live stream, and whatever came out, we put it out as an NFT.
Yeah. Why not?
You know what I mean? And it's like, you could own what was made here today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't know what that means for our ability to put it on a fucking album or whatever, but the idea behind it is that you create something as a musician on the fly that you can sell on the fly. Like a busker, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So a busker plays a song on the street. They want somebody to walk by and pay for the pleasure of having heard it. This is a step beyond that. This is like a way of saying, like, I liked this so fucking much that I'm willing to say, like, I want my name to be tied to this. I want people when they look into this song to see my name. And, I backed this as a patron of the artist that made it, right? Interesting fucking times. I don't mean to bring it back to Deadwood, but that fucking idea of potential shows itself in the same way that the potential of NFTs is showing itself. Deadwood, when we start the show, is a total fucking wilderness camp. The Indian War is still going on, so they're technically still illegally on Indian land.
Of course.
So, you know what I mean? Like, there's really like a lot of risk involved for the people that are there. But by season 2, all of a sudden, Yankton is interested. And Montana is making overtures. And George Randolph Hearst is sending personal agents to the town to start buying up land. So all of a sudden, it starts to look like all of the moneyed interest and governmental interests are backing this thing. Slowly, making overtures.
Right. Of course.
Right? And it's like the people that made that stand in Deadwood when it was still in Indian territory and their whole fucking bare asses were in the wind are now seeing the value of what they've done. They went out on a limb a little bit for something new, but now it's worth a fucking fuck ton of money and they know it. So
all the lots they own. I mean, just the property values themselves, because suddenly when you have big business coming in, like there's logging potential, there's mining potential. They need land. Who owns all the land? They do.
Right. These are
Dude,
privately owned tracts. These are their ultimate dream is to get annexed into the United States and have their claims of ownership of land and title on property recognized. Because if that happens, they're instantly rich. They could sell their claims for quadruple what they're worth. They could fucking start new businesses on that land that become the fucking standard of the West in that area. Logging, mining, like all the potential is so fucking huge. We're talking about untapped potential of wilderness on the same continent that America is growing into. And this is like different. We're talking about art. But you want to tell me that art isn't a hugely speculative and lucrative fucking business and hasn't been since fucking time immemorial?
It always has been. Yeah.
I mean, who patronized some of the most fucking amazing pieces of art ever made?
The aristocracy.
Right.
Yeah.
The church.
The church, yes, of course.
The government, the aristocracy, the rich, the famous. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a display of wealth. I mean, especially, if you look at,
especially in antiquity and shit. Yeah, like
one of the ways of me and my family.
Yeah, one of the ways that you fucking, if you're like a lord or something, flex your fucking muscle.
It's also a way to gather wealth.
I know this artist. He painted my portrait. He sculpted this statue of my wife. He did this to, whatever.
It's also a way to gather wealth. Have you ever seen that movie, The Girl with the Pearl Earring?
No.
I think I have, but I'm not.
It's got what's her name in it. She plays the Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson.
Johansson. Thank you.
Sounds familiar, but
I have not seen it.
So I don't remember the name of the fucking artist. I guess I could look it up real quick. The name of the artist that painted the girl with the pearl earring. He was patronized at this point, and he was not a rich man, right? He sold his art for a reasonable amount. Now, the people that bought his art, because at the point that the movie picks up, he's already sold a lot of paintings to rich people. So his art's theoretical value has already risen. But he started out as a portraiture artist, selling his art for way less. And so there is a speculative value to art in the same way that there is a speculative value to going out on your own and claiming title and working land before a government takes it over. And assuming that your title will be honored, right? So it's the same wilderness. You're looking at a piece of art that's beautiful and aesthetic and that you think has value. And you're patronizing that artist. Now, you're not just buying that piece of art. You're buying a piece of that artist's future. Because if that artist goes on to sell his next work to fucking Bill Gates for $1 million, then the piece of art that you bought for $15 or whatever the fuck it is, Jean-Michel Basquiat is a good example of this.
Oh, yeah.
A street artist, right? Started as a tagging artist, going under the moniker of Samo. Started selling these very pastiche postcard size collage art like what Chelsea makes. And he would add different mediums to it, paint over the top of that, and sold it for $15, $10, whatever a person would give him on the street. And that's how he lived. Those pieces of art are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars now. The people that bought those, Andy Warhol was famously one of them. Jean-Michel Basquiat saw Andy Warhol walk into a cafe that he was hanging out in front of because he knew Andy Warhol was there. And he very brazenly walked into the cafe, walked right up with Andy Warhol and sold him 2 or 3 paintings, 2 postcard collages. And Andy Warhol loved his hustle so much that broke his fucking career. But you see the difference? Every person that walked by Jean-Michel Basquiat on the street looked at that art and went like, all right, bro, I'll give you $10 for that. If they held on to that fucking piece of art, they became millionaires overnight.
Insane. But I mean, how many artists do you encounter in the world? I mean, so especially in a major city. So
Right.
a lot of people, even if he's a super talented artist, they're just going to go, that's nice, but whatever. You know,
How
I
much
got to
of
go.
that is due to the
Got
fact
to get
that
on the bus or whatever.
The question is, Scotty, and it's an interesting question. I think you're totally right. Is it that there are so few artists of true value in the world? Or is it that there are so few artists that get the opportunity to be seen in the world, right? So Jean-Michel Basquiat, like he could have been hustled out the door before he ever got to fucking Andy Warhol's table. Somebody could have saw what he was doing. He looked like a street kid. So some muscle at the fucking cafe could have been like, hey, get the fuck away. And he never met Andy Warhol and his career went nowhere and his shit is worth $15 or less. Because nobody knows the name Jean-Michel Basquiat ever, right?
Of course, yeah.
So it's like, how many artists are out there just waiting for a break? And what better time is there than now for these artists to be seen by people with money that will put speculative value on their art in the fucking double digits, triple digits, quadruple digits?
There's always a luck component to it, I think. Because I mean, there's so many talented artists. I don't deny that at all. But there's only so much attention you can get, especially in an increasingly fast-paced society where it's just like some things are going to catch on. There's brilliant artists out there. I mean, I'm telling you, brilliant artists that, you know, I've seen them on Twitter. It's like they have 100 followers. And I've seen artists that, you know, probably not even as good as them they have 10 million because they do what people want. And part of the component is people seeing themselves in that artwork or relating to it in some way.
What if
maybe
you have...
Maybe someone makes that an art piece of art that, while it's amazing and it's amazing work, it just doesn't connect to people in the same way. Or maybe you're right, they don't get enough exposure. But there's so many different factors that have to come into play to be a household name as far as art is concerned.
Yeah, no, you're totally fucking right. What if it becomes like we're thinking in terms of just the staid piece of art? You know what moneyed interests do with different assets, right? They conglomerate them and sell them as a package of similar assets, right? So what if you are an artist or have an eye for a particular kind of art?
Sure.
And you collect a bunch of non-fungible tokens that you can that show that you own all of this art curated by you. And what you have is not necessarily a bunch of well-known artists, but you have a curated collection of a very stylistic type that you could then bundle together with other people that own similar things. And now you've got a tranche of art that may be speculatively valuable to more moneyed interests that have that same proclivity as you. Oh, I love these collections of indie goth art, or I love these collections of neoclassic art that are being made, or I love these new neo-impressionist artist collections that are around a theme. I'll pay $50,000 for that tranche of 20,000 paintings.
Yeah, that maybe you put together for like far less than that.
$5 a pop, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's possible. I mean, it's also possible.
Not only is it possible,
of
that's inevitably going to happen.
Of licensing those things too. I mean, think about that. Like granting license to use some of these things, because people aren't necessarily always going to want to sell these things, but maybe there's ways to grant, like,
exactly.
Okay, because I own all of these digital assets, just like you own a picture, like you go to Shutterstock or something. I don't see why they can't have something like that similar.
The only issue is that, you know, even if you own it, it's really hard to stop other people from like using and displaying it when it's digital. You know what I mean?
But isn't
thing,
that?
though,
But
the
that's what I'm
more-
saying. If you license it, then
right.
that
The
kind
beautiful thing about that, though, is the more that other people use it, the more the theoretical worth of your NFT becomes. Because if your NFT
Right.
becomes a meme, then
Yeah,
somebody's
exactly.
going to want to buy it, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, if you invent a meme that's really popular, of course, and if you own the NFT of that, there's going to be a buyer, almost certainly.
Right. So it's just like that's the beauty of this is it doesn't necessarily stymie people from taking something that you own the NFT on and using it. It just ensures that when people trace the origins of that and become interested in it, which is shown by people using it and talking about it, somebody might come along and go like, God damn, who has the NFT on this motherfucker? Fuck. He bought it for $500. Offer him 10K. I'll take that NFT. That's a cool piece of art. Boom. You just made a nifty little piece of hustle bustle and you made $9,500.
I think the real disconnect here is, Paul, is that a lot of people just don't. I mean, it's because it's hard to imagine things that we really have no conception of before. Because like I think a lot of people think of art as like you go to this big fancy gallery in this this very kind of uppity setting, and you see like the works of art, or if you're going to buy a work of art, it's going to be a bunch of rich people going, "Oh yes,
Well, you know,
I've been doing that now.
You're the real problem.
We've reached a point. I'm sorry, TJ, you go ahead.
The thing I was going to say is like,
But that's a lot of people's conception now, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
like people, there's a lot of people out there that have like whether it's accurate or not, have a conception of the past, right?
Right.
And everybody has a conception of the present, but like really not everyone seems to have a conception of the future. Some people just like don't even really seem to speculate about it, or they only see what's now. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, what about what could happen? Maybe it's just because they're uncomfortable with the uncertainties of the future, so they don't want to fucking. But like you got to have some sort of predictive ability. with this
Everything
shit.
is uncertain in life,
Right.
I mean,
So,
everything is
like,
uncertain
I don't
in
know.
life.
Everything's a fucking gamble. You got to fucking roll the dice every once in a while. Fuck.
Right.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, look. I mean, if something's working, I mean, look. There's a time period for everything. You know, I mean, it's obviously there's no one saying that you can't sell physical art as a medium anymore. Oh, you can't do that. I mean, that'll still exist, and there'll still be a market for it. But these new markets are emerging, and to ignore them, I think is foolish.
I mean,
I want you to think about this, Scotty, too.
Art forms and art distribution methods rise and fall all the time.
Even the traditional distribution methods work with NFTs. Think about this shit, right? Like I said before, you curate a group of paintings around a theme that pleases you, and you buy the NFTs for those paintings, and you use your eye for art to buy high quality digital art made by real artists that are really passionate, and they're making the kind of art that you're into, whether that's one artist that you find that you really latch onto and you just buy every NFT that they fucking put out as soon as they put it out, or a group of artists that you curate, right? So you've got that tranche of maybe 25, 50 paintings all around that central theme, all pleasing together. Then you set up a fucking high-end gallery. You're the only person that can do this. You own these fucking paintings. You can sue anybody that does this shit. You own these paintings as a tranche, right? You set up a gallery, set up high quality fucking 8K, 12K displays of different sizes all over the fucking walls and create a digital art experience that people pay to see, that you maintain as a constantly updated new movement art gallery that thus increases the value of the fucking art that you already own yourself. Right?
Oh, dude, people would love that shit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. This type of shit, I'm not the first person to think about it. I'm probably not even the first person to do it. This type of shit probably has already been done, to be honest with you.
My question is, has a court ruled on the legitimacy of an NFT ownership claim, or is that even in contest?
Is Bitcoin in the same fucking boat? I don't think it's happened yet.
No, I think it's recognized as that's an asset to you personally. But I mean, obviously, an asset that can rise in value.
Right.
But I mean, like, if you think about it, I mean, a lot of this stuff, has always traditionally just been a way, because like people don't want to just have everything in money. If you look at that, the more money people have, especially like the wealthy. It's like they don't just want to have a bunch of money; they want to have properties. They want to have this. So like I would say that when this market emerges, it's going to be skewed towards the higher end. But I think you're right, Paul. Eventually,
they want to be able to. They want to be able.
Well, they
to
set the trends too. They set those celebrities and rich types set the trends. So like if people in the crypto circles, the top echelons are saying, "Yeah, I'll buy a $75,000."
Because you know what's going to end up happening is 20 years in the future, there's going to be noted early NFT collector James Van O'Keefe of the Mississippi O'Keefes speaks in the 21st century about NFTs like this. This is the new wave of art, the new forefront of art. Little did he know how correct he would be, as his valuable at the time art collection became the centerpiece of the NFT collection. You know what I mean? It's just like fucking, it's gonna happen. And you might not be the next James Vanderkeefe or whatever the fuck of the Mississippi Vanderkeefes, but you might be Scotty Kirk of the fucking Louisiana Kirks. You know what I mean? You might be fucking Joe Blow of the Joe Blows, Paul Zigo of the fucking long-standing, hard-working, blue-collar Zigo clan. A man that forestalled his humble nature and saw the value of the humble, non-fungible token. You know what I mean? There are going to be a bunch of those fucking stories, bro, and a bunch of people that are living large off this shit, so get in it or don't. You know what I mean? But
I just don't even. I look at it. I'm like, I don't really know how to get in it. But
start doing what I'm talking about. I've looked into this. I am going to start buying art that pleases me.
Yeah.
And curating art that pleases me visually. Now, I see the smile on your face because the art that pleases you is of a different kind, but you know there's potential in it too.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be NFT pornography, of course.
Absolutely. CJ had the pornography smile on his face.
TJ, maybe you can be one of the first early smut peddlers of NFT.
Yeah.
Right. You might be the fucking Larry Flint of NFTs. You have a tranche of some of the most beautiful fucking big jiggly ass pictures that are ever fucking made. You own them. Your name is associated with them. You can display them and sell them however you want. Come on, TJ. You see the potential.
Wow.
That's how you know. That's honestly how you get into it. You think about it like from an artistic perspective. What do I want to support? Number one, what kind of visual style? Do I want to go down the smut peddler route? I'm not fucking poo-pooing it. Go. There's a lot of money in them. Their hills. You want to go down the actual like publicly displayable, normal, artsy fartsy, butt sniffing kind of art. You want to find the next Giger. If such a thing exists out there in the digital world and it's being offered for NFTs, you go hunting for that or things that are adjacent to that. And you start creating a tranche of art around a central concept. The disformation of the human form and it's presenting in an alien way. I'm going to buy everything that pleases me under that, no matter what kind of art it is. Impressionism, pointillism, I don't care what it is, as long as it evokes the human form being repurposed in some alien, and that's the type of shit I'm in, right? I love Dali. I love the way he stretched and fucked the human form into different animals, and you know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to start buying up. And I'm going to create a tranche of art with my eye for that type. And I'm not saying I'm finding the next Dali. I'm saying I'm creating a tranche of art that has Paul Parkey on it.
Yeah.
That then I own 50 paintings. And I can present them as such. This is the Paul Parkey collection on this subject. The pessimistic idea that we're all kind of uncanny to ourselves because we shouldn't exist.
And then if your gallery gains traction, then all those probably go up in value at that point.
Or if through my other work, somebody becomes aware of it and looks at it and they've got a lot of money and they want to make an offer on it, I don't have to take it, but that shows me, oh shit, value going up. Maybe I should start a gallery for this shit. Because now in the meantime, I've acquired 50 other paintings on a similar theme.
Yeah, you can expand your gallery or you can have like a second gallery.
Have a digital gallery.
Yeah.
You buy ownership of that presents these non-fungible tokens in a beautiful fucking setting with all of the explanations about the art and quotes from the artist and actual video from the fucking artist if they want to talk about their painting.
Just like you're in a museum or something.
Right. Behind the scenes footage that the artist has supplied about the making of the painting. Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting in it.
Get in there, Paul.
I'm doing it. I'm getting in it. I'm not going to throw tons of money, but I'm going to.
Madeira Man loses all gold on NFT gamble.
Yeah. NFTs outlawed. Madeira Man ruined.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
The gallery opens tomorrow. Look at it. Come.
the future.
FBI. Woo! Closed.
Yeah, the future can be a cunt too. So who knows? But I don't know. I
no,
feel like
you
it's
know?
going that way, man. I don't know.
No, I feel the same. I don't think the NFTs will be outlawed, personally.
I mean, yeah, I don't think they're outlawed. I mean, also, I don't think. That
I mean, could it be the next Betamax? Yeah, it could be, because you know what? Someone could come up with something better. We don't know.
Sure.
But hey, at the same time, if it's out there, there's an opportunity there.
I mean, it's definitely got that. Now, it doesn't always go to who was first on the floor, but NFTs are a fucking incontrovertible way to demonstrate ownership of art. It's the first way that you can do that for digital art of all kinds. And make no bones about it, some of these pieces of art have exploded in speculative value already, just within the community of rich people that already believe in them. So a bunch of artists have gotten rich selling NFTs. A bunch of people have gotten rich scooping up an NFT that really pleased them, and then having a fucking rich person come along and go like, I'll give you $100,000 for that today. And you're like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this is already happening. So it's like, you can either get in on it. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be rich, but I'm not looking at each piece as this is going to make me rich. I'm looking at, wow, that's a reasonable price. $200 for a beautiful painting. I'm going to buy it. And it's in the theme that I like and in the color scheme that I like. And if I end up with 50 fucking paintings, you bet your fucking ass I'm going to look into the efficacy of getting a little digital art gallery made to my specifications. My specifications.
Dude, listen. I have one of those Oculus headsets, and one of the things I actually did in there was there was like a virtual art museum that I walked around the art museum, and you could like look up at the painting and shit.
Way of the future.
Yeah.
Way of the future.
Well, it was the way of the future. So you can make your own little like digital virtual fucking gallery,
Dude.
or it could just be navigable on a desktop maybe, or a phone screen.
A
if people wanna
VR
use that.
gallery. Yeah, you can go to your
But
gallery.
you can have a VR totally immersive Paul's Ego Museum experience.
That's the future of this technology. I partner with some VR firm that believes in my art collection. They take a little piece of the entrance pie, and it's released as a giant game where you can walk through my pessimistic halls and view the haunting art that I've purchased. Some of it animated, some of it not, all presented beautifully in this dark, foreboding atmosphere. You can hear the NFTs for pessimistic music that I've purchased as you walk through. This is the future, TJ, and I'm getting
Paul's Gallery of Pessimism.
Right.
Walk in with a smile, walk out with a frown.
I already have a name for it, but I don't want to reveal it. It has nothing to do with pessimism or Paul.
Well, whatever.
I'll tell you guys privately what it is, but like I just, like I already have a name. I'm dead serious about this shit. If this shit takes off, I'm going to buy these up as I can afford them. I'm not going to be crazy about it. But as this is a very young investment opportunity, I'm going to buy them as I seize them. Around the shit that I likes. I'm going to find indie artists that are making shit that I likes. And once I've got 25 of them, I'm going to start packaging that shit together and thinking about ways of displaying it.
I think it's cool. I am
Call
100%
me a dreamer.
I mean, it's a dream that seems plausible. So
yeah, fairly plausible. I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
eventually
fucking know.
accumulate that many NFTs, and then,
I mean, I think the logic is sound, Paul. So go ahead, man.
I've got an eyeball for
I might
art.
do a little bit of that myself.
Can I show you guys a piece of art that I love that if there was an NFT, I would purchase it, but it's already associated with another property? A property, by the way, TJ, that you have refused to play despite my insistence that you do so.
Yeah.
You guys bought it for me.
Yeah.
I'll go
I know
get
what
it.
you're talking about. Yeah. What is this shit? Dude, read that.
Madman, lunatic, racist, corrupt. That's what Obama thinks of President Trump. You need to defend your president. 1 hour. Donate now. Okay, what do I get if I donate?
Yeah.
SecureWinRed.com.
Yeah, what do you get?
When the left attacks President Trump, they're really attacking you and everything you stand for.
Shit.
We're printing a list with the names of every patriot who steps up and publicly defends President Trump today. Can we add your name? Please contribute any amount immediately to get your name on the list of patriots who defended President Trump from Obama and the radical left.
Wow.
And it says, oh, look at this, $250 is jumping.
Boom.
It's
Look at that
jumping
shit.
right there. Look, ooh. Damn, look at that.
Yeah. That's from fuck that game he keeps recommending. Fucking Way Station to Cheeseburgerville or some shit.
Disco Elysium, TJ.
Yeah, that's the one.
Disco Elysium.
Yeah, Disco Elysium, like I said.
I need to affix it to the wall properly. I haven't picked a place for it yet. I don't know where I want it. I think I kind of want to put it out actually in the living room, but I want to get 3 or 4 more of these. It's one of the thought cabinet pieces from Disco Elysium, and the art house that produced them's name is Zaum. ZA/UM. And they produced a whole slew of art for the game that is really cool. Has a real aesthetic that I'm interested in. And you got to understand, these were indie people that made this game, that found this indie art house and worked with them to produce a ton of high quality display level art,
Which is dope.
around the pessimistic themes and the communistic themes of Disco Elysium.
So is that like a print they gave you there?
That's
or
like
what?
a metal.
That's actually the same as the painting you bought me that's above it, Scotty.
Oh, it's like a display.
It's a display.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I really love that. That's why I was thinking like, what should we give Paul? And Taylor's like, get him a poster in this. I'm like, so I saw Paul at the poster, and I saw the poster doing this.
Yep.
Yeah, remember the Canagar, dude? Come
Yeah,
on.
and I was
Fuck
like, you
you.
know what?
We
He's
agreed at the establishment of this business never to bring up the fucking Canagar. You know
Fuck
that.
you broke the Canagar. You
Dude,
broke
that
the
was the
fucking
funniest
Canagar.
shit, dude.
You broke that fucking shit. You know what's good though, Paul?
Oh my god,
That
the
they-
look on his
the
face
retail
was the most
list-
priceless fucking guy.
I remember we fucked on you, Paul, because I told you I paid $420. We actually knew the dude that worked there. Only paid like $150 or
I know,
whatever.
but I was still fucking mortified. Dude, I
Paul was
worked
like-
for you guys.
it was on video too. It's the best day. It was like, all right, Paul, and we all talked up the Canagar forever. Oh man, we're gonna smoke it. And if you're wondering what a Canagar is, it's like it's
It's a
basically
cigar,
a cigar.
that's filled with weed, basically. Cannabis.
It's filled with like almost like an ounce of weed and then like
Yeah.
several ounces of wax.
Yeah.
and like all rolled together in a cigar. And it's basically like it takes like 3 to 4 hours of intense smoking.
It's rolled
Yeah.
instead of in tobacco leaves, it's rolled in pot leaves.
yeah.
yes.
So the wrapper
It's
is
insane.
instead of tobacco leaf, it's cannabis.
So basically, this is the
wrapper.
most
Yes.
this
And
most
it's like
ridiculous
an
fucking
expensive
weed
as
based
fuck,
contraption.
high-end fucking thing. And it had one of those fucking bands around it. And I was like, look, dude, nobody's going to want to fucking smoke this thing because we're going to want to smoke this thing all the way to the head. Let me just take off the band. I thought I was just going to slide the band off. I should have just ripped it and carefully taken it off. But when I fucking went to pull that fucking band off, it's like it crumbled in my hand. It went.
The whole thing just split in half.
Oh my fucking god, dude!
And we just all looked at Paul in horror, and he
was
looked
like-
back at us in like twice the horror.
We're like, what the fuck just happened?
It's one of the scariest moments of my
No, I
life.
swear to God, dude, as bumbling and fumbling and stupid of me as it was, I did not apply. Like, I'm not a fuck. Like, I did not go like, let me just take this ring off. Rip. You know, I was just, I literally, so it kind of leads me to believe that fucking Canagar got sold to us cheaply because underneath that fucking wrapper, it was already busted.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, maybe so, but
Because I'm telling you, man, I remember that shit. You don't forget that shit. The shit came apart with like a feather touch.
Ah, I see, Paul.
Feathers touch.
A feather, stoned ass Paul and his feather touch, dude. Paul just did this, dude. Oh shit!
I did not break it on purpose. I
Paul
took the
did
fucking
this, dude.
It had the ring on it, and I went to slide that ring off, and the fucking thing just came into two pieces. And I was like,
You don't fuck with it, man. Paul, you just don't fuck with it. That's the thing.
I know.
I don't know why you fuck with it.
If I was gonna fuck with it, I could have just ripped off that stupid fucking thing instead of trying to pull it off. But I wanted to save the little wrapper thing.
No, I'll tell you what. Next time I go back to Washington, I'm definitely gonna get one of those. I
don't know if they still sell them. If they do, I want one. There's none on the fucking California rolls like that I can order. But I haven't been since I moved back here. I haven't been to any like pot shops in a big city.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I don't really know what's available on retail. Like I know the delivery services maintain like extensive menus and shit, and I have ordered from them exclusively. So, but I'm just recently, like within the last couple of weeks, fully vaxxed. So,
well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty rare to find even in Washington. I don't know if maybe you'd find something like that similar in California. I don't really know though. It was a very unique item, and the cost was so high. So it's really very much like
you could put
it's kind of a novelty item as well. Like it's sort of like but
they charged $420 for it. I mean,
I didn't pay that.
Yeah, we didn't fucking pay that.
No, that's the reason I got it was because
I felt horrible though. Because to me, like, especially at that time, dude, I was like $420. I mean, still now, $420. If I broke something that's worth $420, I'd shit my pants. That was horrifying. That was terrible.
Did we still? Everyone smoked that, and I can tell you, like, I think it still took us like 3 or 4 days. Even after, like, we all, like, we're just going to smoke this can of garden. I think it was, like, 7 people smoking it?
Oh, yeah, dude. Positive Smash was there with us, and, like, all the then girlfriends at the time were hitting it, and, we were hitting it, and, like, anybody that, like, I don't know who else was around at that.
Fucking couple bums off the street
at that time. I feel like Repsy and me take a hit on a stump of that can of
maybe
I don't remember.
I can't remember if I do remember Repsy coming by and getting smoked up one time.
I just remember him staying at my house, not like because like we had any profound conversation, but because he took mushrooms and then just like stood over my sink for like several hours doing this.
He examined his hands. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that like Repsian had a bad trip. He just had a very introspective mushroom trip,
Yeah.
We all kind of tripped out and went our separate ways. And he spent his time laying on your couch, examining his hands and like running his hands under the water.
Those shrooms, I was never able to get anything out of them. I took those shrooms a few times and I was just like, I thought those shrooms were duds, honestly, until I saw Repsion examining his hands for 3 hours, and I'm like, I guess they work for some people.
I thought you were right until I took a sufficient dose. I remember one time because we had whatever, we had a bunch of shrooms, and we were at one point I was just like, dude, I'm gonna take a fucking insane dose of these. I remember telling you, I think we both did it. Maybe you didn't feel shit, but I was like, okay, I tripped.
I didn't. Yeah.
And you didn't.
But I have I have to like take so much of any medication for it to have a fucking effect on me.
Those fucking truffles in Amsterdam, though. Whew.
See, there's different concentrations of that shit. I've never had anything like that. Those are wet, right?
They're not wet. They're more like waxy. They're like waxy.
Yeah, waxy.
I've seen pictures and they look wet or waxy.
They're not like super unpleasant. They're more pleasant than actually like the dried mushroom.
I imagine anything is more pleasant than that. That's like eating straight up dog shit. That's
I just remember TJ TJ ate a bunch of fucking truffles and he's like, is there in a hostel that was basically like 2 beds, enough space to like stand up between the beds, and then a bathroom that was like you had to enter like this, and he's just passed out. He's like, Scotty, just fucking Scotty, I eat truffles. I'm like, I can tell TJ, Scotty, man, like, let's find a McDonald's, Scotty. TJ, there's no way you're gonna be able to walk to McDonald's, Scotty. He tried to stand up, and he's like, fucking falling. Scotty, man, go to McDonald's for me. I'm like, I'm not going to McDonald's for you. All right, then go get a prostitute, Scotty.
See,
You're
dude,
next. Yeah.
TJ's such a fucking douchebag because, like, when I tripped, we took 2 hits of acid together the first time we tripped together.
Yeah.
2 a pop. We dropped tubies,
Uh-huh.
and he fucked with me mercilessly the whole goddamn night. Put all kinds of evil thoughts in my head with his
It
TJ-ness.
was so fucking awesome.
He fucking planted all these fucking weird ideas in my head, and he'd start me thinking. And then he showed me the fucking dark side of the rainbow, and I had ego death happened and shit.
Yeah, when the Munchkins came out and started fucking dancing, Paul did experience the ego death at that moment. Like, he went into this, like, I think he became the Munchkins for a minute.
I didn't become the Munchkins. I was a Munchkin. Like, I was part of them.
A Munchkin. You were just a Munchkin. Okay.
Right. It was like Paul never existed, and all of their joy had consumed me, and I was seeing their lives in ways that make no sense. Like, now that I've learned about them, they were little drunk fucking idiots that, like, looking up fucking Dorothy's skirt and shit. But I saw them as, like, hardworking little midgets that just wanted to make it, you know, and, like, this is the culmination of their lives. And I was just like, oh, I was I was part of that whole fucking thing. Pink Floyd was playing, screaming. And it was just disappeared into the film. Any knowledge that we were listening to, like, a mashup had disappeared from my mind. Any knowledge that I was watching something disappeared from my mind. I was in there with them laughing, and like, I was crying, but not out of like sadness, just like out of pure, like, unadulterated midget joy.
Fuck.
Oh my God, it was beautiful.
I was there.
See, that's the thing, is like, a lot of people would look back on that and go like, oh yeah, I had a bad trip one time. I'm like, no, dude, that was a space cadet awesome fucking trip. That was great.
That was great.
That's what I'm reaching for every trip. I still remember on that trip, the thing that, you know what stuck with me hardest of all, and this kind of fucks with me? You had a little picture of Manson.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that big poster like what's above Scotty's head. It was like a small framed picture of Manson, all ghoulish like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And over the course of that night, because I was sitting on the couch in your room across from that portrait, I had a whole relationship with that motherfucker that I've never even discussed with anybody. You know what I mean? He just was different people. His face was different things. He would sometimes like I'd look over there and he'd be just like moving his eyes around, and like I'd be like, okay, Manson, all right.
Paul, remember the rooftop pole, and you're like,
he wasn't saying anything, but it was just like he was moving. Motherfucker was like communicating with me, and so
he was communicating the rooftop to you, man.
Yeah, he was fucking, and then he became other people. He like became people I know or have known, and he became like a skeleton at one point. And there was nothing skeletal about that picture, but I distinctly remember it being just like a grinning fucking skull at one point. And I was like, okay, all right, Manson, I get you, I hear you,
I get you. I see what you're saying there.
Point taken. I'm dead. We're all dead. It's a skull. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Paul a few times during that night being like, I don't think Manson approves that. You know, he just...
God, I remember you telling me that. You're like, Paul was talking like Manson was like saying shit to him or something. Like, I was like, I don't know, dude.
And he was just all like, Manson doesn't like that.
Yeah,
Manson's happy.
And I wasn't there most of the time during the trip, but I do remember, like, I do recollection of you're like, fucking Paul keeps saying Manson's like talking to him or something. I don't fucking know.
Manson, like, as the trip ebbed and flowed, I would check in with Manson and I would let everybody know, like, hey, Manson is not happy right now. And that would be like,
I remember you telling me that. He was like, Manson ain't happy. And I'm just like, all right.
And
I didn't take any acid. I'm sober.
Dude, was that the Stoneboy night?
I just glanced at Manson for a couple minutes, and he turned into Satan or a beast, or he threatened me,
Dude, was
pointed
that the night
his fingers at me or some shit.
Was that the night of Stoneboy too? Was that Stoneboy night?
That was the second time we tripped.
Okay,
yeah, that was a different time, I believe.
Stoneboy was when we went through the depths of like YouTube together. Remember?
Yeah.
Or maybe
Yeah, I
the
just
third
remember, like,
time.
being
That might have been
so
a third acid
confused.
trip. Now that I think
I
about
don't
it.
know.
I just remember being so confused because like I would pop in at various intervals of these things. I didn't experience most of this shit, and like I just remember you guys like on the fucking couch in Ohio, like Stone Boy,
Oh my
Stone
God.
Boy, and I'm
Dude.
like, what the fuck is Stone Boy? You're like Stone Scotty. Have you heard of Scotty? Have you heard? Scotty, have you heard of Stone Boy? And I'm like, I have no fucking idea what the fuck Stone Boy was.
Hold the mic, Stone Boy. Take the
Scotty,
mic.
watch. You guys showed me like 20 times. I'm like, Scotty, do you understand now? And I'm like, I have no fucking clue, my friends. Like, have fun.
Pass the mic, Stone Boy.
I've got to get back upstairs to do some other
Stone
bullshit.
Boy.
Like, you guys have a good trip.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, my favorite ass trip wasn't even one I went on. It was a time I took TJ. He took like 3 or 4 tabs of acid. I took him to IHOP, and we were literally there for like 3 hours because they sucked, and TJ could not figure out like he just didn't want to leave. Like I would tell him like, "All right, TJ, do you want to leave this?" He's like, "No, I'm gonna get another thing or something," and he would just like ramble on about whatever because I mean TJ's eyes were like this. Like I've never seen him almost ever as high. He's just like, "Scotty, let me tell you another thing," and I'm like, "TJ, we've been here for like 2 hours," and he's like, "No, we haven't." And then we just like kept going on the fight for like about 3 hours. Like, I'm like TJ, like you know, TJ, like Chelsea needs you at home or something. Oh, all right. You know, I'm like I basically just like straight up just like live, like TJ, the house is on fire or some shit. We gotta leave,
I don't remember this at all.
dude. You took like 3 fucking tabs of acid and it really started to hit you. You're like, and like for some reason, you're like, let's go to IHOP. I'm like, you just took 3 tabs of acid. Are you sure you want to go to IHOP? You're like, yes. Take me to IHOP.
I don't remember this at all, dude.
Dude, like it was impossible to get you to fucking leave, and like the way you communicated with the people, like they just knew you were fucked up because you're just like, I like, I'd like, and it's like the woman like waiting, and you like, do you have pancakes? Yeah, yes. What kind? They're like, all kinds. And it's everything with you. And like, so like they'd have to come. I think it took like 4 or 5 times them coming back and forth to actually take your order at the fucking IHOP because you would literally just space out. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like he's on a new medicine or something. Like, I don't know. I just basically go like, you know, he's loopy or something. And I'm just like, whatever. It's IHOP. We don't give a shit. We see high people all the time.
Yeah, of course they do.
You know, they don't give a flying fuck. I mean, obviously I'm more embarrassed about it than they are. They're like, whatever, dude. TJ, when you get fucking super high, you lose your mind. I've never seen it with anybody else. Like I know I might act crazy, and people think I'm crazy, but I'm more of like an energetic crazy. TJ's just like loses his mind subtly.
Well, TJ, like what the times that I've seen TJ when because like we've seen each other's in various states of acid trip, and like TJ when he gets real introspective becomes like real bestial. Like, he carries a lot of tension up in his like shoulders.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
He'll stalk around the house like, and he'll say worrying things like, "Fucking murder them all." You know, and he'll just walk out of the room.
I know. Yeah. The best part about it is like everyone else gets the reaction like TJ says to kill us all. I'm like, fuck him, let him try. And I just gotta keep watching TV.
Yeah.
And then like you guys are like, I don't know about that. I'm like, oh, whatever.
There's one time I remember TJ was doing this. I call it the Yeti walk because it just like that's what I
know
the trip.
exactly what
That's
you're talking about.
it. Like in the trip, that's how I pictured TJ because he had taken like he was wearing like a t-shirt and the sleeves had been rolled up on it, and so like you could see his arms swinging around, and I was just like, oh my god, he's a fucking Yeti the way he's walking. Like it wasn't like he was like it's just like his shoulders were just up and big and giant, and he was just like choo, and he said some shit like that. He was like, fucking kill them all. And I was like, I'm sitting there tripping.
The
And I'm
terror
sitting there
of Paul being
tripping
around the party.
balls.
The Kirk brothers. Sorry, Paul. I'm just thinking how fucked up your relationship with us really is.
It is, dude. Well, whatever. I wouldn't have it any other fucking way. And so, like, TJ walks by and he says this, and I'm looking at his back, and he's doing these laps where he'd like walk next to the bed, like over by where the bathroom was in that room, and then he'd turn around all slow and then like walk back towards the stairs.
Yeah, everyone in my family's pacers.
This is TJ is definitely like, he's known to do this shit, but like it took on a different character, like when he was tripping balls. And so like when he said that, when he said fucking kill them all or some shit like that, I was like, who do you want to kill? And TJ like fucking stopped in his tracks with his back to me and just like slowly turned. And he looked, dude.
Oh my God.
He looked fucking crazed.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, dude, you turned and you were like, and I looked at you and I was like, you know, who do you want to kill? And you said something like, every fucking last person. And you just like went on, kept pacing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well.
Dude.
Actually, to be honest with you, the Yeti thing, I adopted that because I didn't, like the first thought that came to my mind when we were tripping was Grendel. But I know that that's your dog, right? And so I didn't want to make that association with you, but like the fucking Beowulf arch nemesis of Grendel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just a monstrous being that has contempt for humanity because it exists. You know what I mean?
Right. So my true self, basically.
Right.
Oh my God.
I've talked to TJ's true self one time, and the conversation was as such. Fucking kill them all. TJ, kill who? Every person on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
That's why I love TJ. How do you not love TJ?
Yeah, I know.
Love TJ because if he gets his way, he's gonna kill everybody.
Pretty much every time me and TJ have, I guess, our more true selves have talked, it's pretty much always been like, "I kill you, I kill you, I kill you."
Well,
I kill you.
Anger is usually in vino veritas, and in
Yeah,
anger
like,
veritas
right,
as well, for sure. People get radically honest at
No, fucking
drugs.
dude.
Drugs help towards
TJ would fuck your ass up, dude. With when he's like that, man. Oh my God, because like
I don't think he would.
His-
Like I didn't feel any menace directly from TJ, but I had no intention of walking up to TJ and impeding his pacing either. You know what I mean?
Oh no, yeah. I don't think you would have done it. But if you would have gotten TJ's way, TJ's the kind of guy. If you get in his way, he probably will smack the shit out of you or hit you. Like,
I wouldn't
honestly,
doubt it, but like there was
honestly, well, he's done it. Paul's done it so many times. TJ's like, "Oh man, I fucking slapped a guy." I'm like, "Why did you slap him?" And he's all like, "Got in my fucking way. I had to do it." I'm like,
No, wait. No, that's not how it went.
your ass fucking hit. Dude, I remember going to that fucking theater, TJ, and like looking for your ass. Like, where's TJ at? Like, he's like, I'm gonna go to. He's like, but Paul. Long story short, he's gonna go to the bathroom, right? I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm gonna meet you by the car. And like, TJ comes out like ducking around and shit. And you could tell that you could say the fucking rest. You say I'm not telling it right, but you smacked a guy because he fucking ran into you.
No, it wasn't because he ran into me. He ran into me, and I said, "Excuse me," and he's like, "Watch where you're fucking going," or whatever the fuck. And then I hit him. I didn't hit him. I didn't punch him. I just whacked him across the face, like "fuck you, bitch."
TJ, most people wouldn't do that. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, well, I did. I don't know. All right, whatever.
See, that just reveals to me though that like why I've never been bitch smacked by TJ, because I'm the opposite of that in a social situation. Like if I bumped into somebody and they said excuse me, I'd be like, oh, pardon me, I'm sorry about that. You know what I mean? Because I never intend to bump into somebody. But that was clearly a dude.
Look, it was one of those things where it has that blind corner instead of a door.
Yeah.
And we both went, and it wasn't even like a boom or something. It was just like, oh shit, excuse me, I said.
Right.
And he's like, watch where you're going, basically. So I don't know. That pissed me off.
And
I abided by decorum. He did not. And I guess I broke decorum worse by slapping him, but whatever.
Sure.
And then I had to run out to the car and like hide behind the car and shit. Like, oh fuck. This dude might be like getting fucking authorities involved. So
it's a tender situation.
Yeah,
TJ,
so then
because
Scotty
it could
finally
be,
came out.
If you look at it from the other perspective, maybe he thought, and you are known to just barrel through with no fucking no fucking.
I have a
regard.
There's definitely
for other
a
people.
blitheness to me, so I'll.
Maybe
I'll grant you
by
that.
his perception, that's what you were doing, just kind of like absent-mindedly barreling around a blind corner and not having any heat for anybody that might be coming.
There was 100. Neither of us looked around that corner or were careful taking it. We both fucking rounded it.
I mean,
quickly,
for sure.
so.
I'm just saying, perceptually, TJ.
Sure. Yeah.
It's one of those situations where a dude fucked around and found out, because usually.
I mean, look.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he really did.
I never fucking intended to do that. That was like a fucking whatever.
See, I don't think good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm just not that type of dude. And so that's probably why I've never been bitch slapped by TJ. You know what I mean? Because if I was the type of guy that, like, if I bump into we've done that. We've lived together, for Christ's sake. So, of course, TJ and I have fucking run headlong into each other a couple of times, And it's like we both say, oh, fucking sorry, bro. And that's, I think, all TJ requires.
Well,
right?
I actually like you as a person. So,
but think about if, like, you came barreling, like, when we lived together, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
came barreling up or down the stairs or something around that blind corner, and I was coming down and we fucking smacked into each other. And you were like, oh, excuse me, Paul. And I was like, fucking watch where you're going, bitch. Sick of fucking running into your dumb fucking ass, TJ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have done anything like physical.
Right, but if that just kept happening.
But I definitely would have fucking, I don't know, I probably would have fucking gotten in a fucking verbal altercation at that point.
And if I escalated that,
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
You probably would have slapped me.
I mean, maybe. There's obviously a point at which you would get bitch slapped.
Think about how it would go down. I know you can't manufacture the actual anger of it, but you have enough performing history. Let's do it real quick. We bumped into each other. You say, oh, excuse me, Paul, sorry about that. And I say, right. You fucking clumsy fucking oaf, TJ. I'm sick of running into you. And I'm not joking.
Right.
Your fucking clumsiness and shit. I'm not fucking sorry, bitch. Watch where you're going. Stepped over my fucking foot, man. Fuck.
God, I don't know. It's really hard to even imagine you having that reaction, honestly. But
exactly. It's out of character for me. For sure.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I might actually be fucking concerned about you at that fucking point, but
yeah, true. Because it would
like,
be such a out of character.
It would be such
thing.
a weird break because you don't have that kind of temper. So I'd probably be like,
so what if it happened and you just kind of were like, nah, dude, I'm sorry, bro, it's okay, and like because you were concerned about me, but it just kept happening.
Yeah.
Like, let's say something else happened and I came to you and I was like, fucking TJ, just leaving all your shit everywhere. If I just started being like brawlic with you, obviously.
I feel like there would come a point where I would just be like, Paul, I think we just need to like have separate living situations because this ain't working out. I was like,
fuck you. I can't, I'm not doing it. So what now?
If you become this caricature of rage that's constantly pushing my buttons, then eventually there's going to come a point where I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. Let's throw down. But you'd have to be like pretty unreasonable to get me to that fucking point.
I'd have to be not Paul's ego at that point.
Yeah, you'd have to be a total fucking prick that's constantly asking for fucking trouble.
But see, what was fundamental? What if that guy that you bumped into was normally a nice dude, but was just fucking taken aback by what you did?
He might have fucking been. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, that's why I don't fucking look proudly back on that. But at the same time, I guess I kind of do take a little pride because, there's like kind of a masculinity to that, I guess. Like, yeah, that was cool that I did that. But on the other hand, like from a social, civil perspective, like that shouldn't be like acceptable fucking behavior.
I mean, sometimes people, I don't know. I'm of two minds on it. I agree with everything that you just said, and I also agree that sometimes people need a fucking tune-up, as my mom would say.
I know. I've heard you talk. I don't think that guy necessarily... I mean, he didn't get fucking fucked up either. I mean, he just got a little slap across his face.
Maybe the reason you reacted the way that you did was because he came at you in such a way that let you know that this is a dude that has a certain air about him that's just... goes about his day being this way to people, and you punched him in his fucking mouth for the first time in his life, probably.
Well, smack him.
I'll tell you what. You know he wasn't shit though. You know he wasn't shit because he didn't do shit to you. You left.
I mean, he was fucking stunned beyond. I mean, he didn't. He was like paralyzed from that moment. So,
well, it really just shows you that
never happened.
Yeah, because no one ever done that kind of shit to him. I mean, you just fucking popped him.
And I wonder if the next time he bumped into a dude that was fucking head and shoulders taller than him, if he just went, "Oh, excuse me." and went on about his day. You know what I mean? Because you know it's got to happen to him at some point again. Do you think that dude learned a lesson, or do you think he just jacked up the next dude that bumped into him? You know what I mean?
I would hope that he probably was a little nicer going forward, but I don't know that for sure.
There you go.
Whatever.
Yeah, I bumped into a lot of people being drunk, and like the best thing to do is just be like, "Man, I'm really sorry, I'm an idiot." And usually, like,
Dude,
no one gives a
I
fuck.
bumped up against getting in getting in your kill zone when you're drunk, Scotty, and I've done what any normal fucking person would do. It just de-escalated. I just leave. I get out of the fucking bubble of rage and I leave.
Look, I mean, I've bumped into a person or two in my life, and really, there's two things that tend to happen. And either that's like both people just kind of like whatever and walk away.
Yeah,
or we more commonly it's like, oh shit, excuse me, sorry. And then everyone's like, sorry, and we both go on our fucking way.
It's common in society.
So,
shit happens.
I mean, like, I guess there's probably been maybe another instance or two where someone has actually got offended by it, and that did not escalate physically. But
what was different about this time? Was it the tone he took with you, or what he said, or was it just his refusal to reciprocate common courtesy?
Yeah. I mean, it was because it was so clearly both of our faults, and I was just like, excuse me, and very much like, oh, I did the whole like, excuse me, sorry.
Right.
You know? And he's like, watch where you're going. Like real like boat shit. Like watch where you're going, basically.
Right.
And I'm like, so he stuck his face out there and I just went, whack.
How hard did you slap him?
I mean,
he felt it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I slapped him hard enough. Basically, what I was saying with the slap is like, if you want this to be something, it can be, but.
And you also got to understand too, a get your attention slap from a dude TJ's size is going to feel a little different than a get your attention slap from a guy your size or my size. You know what I mean? So this dude felt it. I guarantee you. I wouldn't want to take even a get your attention slap off of TJ because there's more leverage behind that shit. You know what I mean? Than your average Joe.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a grease trap, right, gentlemen?
I think so.
Yeah. So
please don't.
The moral of this
up,
grease
TJ.
trap is buy NFTs and don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with TJ because he'll fucking punch you in the face.
I'll give you a little smack, maybe.
He might slap you in your face, and then it's going to be left to you to stand there paralyzed or to escalate from there. You know?
Yeah. That's basically like I challenge you to a duel. So.
Well, you know what? I've never had the courtesy. I've never been slapped by a cheat. I just get like this.
Hey, well, whatever.
I just get fucking beaten.
There's
to
been
the
plenty
ground.
of times when you attack me, motherfucker.
Man, I don't recall any of those times.
You have fucking walked straight up to me and punched me before.
I want to say right now that I'm completely innocent.
Yeah, sure.